Welcome back for more daily wisdom from Proverbs. Today we're in Proverbs chapter 15. There's so much good wisdom in Proverbs 15. We'll cover what we can. We obviously can't cover everything in a short video. Verse 1. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Okay, right from verse 1 here, we have just deep wisdom about a soft answer turning away wrath. You've had times in your life where someone has come at you and they've had wrath, they've had anger of their own. They were loud and they were aggressive in the way that they approached you. And of course you, just like me at certain times, we respond the same way. They raise their voice, you raise your voice. They come at you with anger, you come back at them with anger. Has that ever solved the problem? Never. Reacting with anger when someone comes at you with anger never solves the problem. It's like the old saying, fight fire with fire, except for the fact you don't fight fire with fire. What do you fight fire with? Water. Water quenches the fire. Just like warmth melts things when they're cold. But our human nature, folly, foolishness, says fight fire with fire. Proverbs says, wisdom says, a soft answer turns away wrath, but harsh words stir up anger. So think about that next time somebody comes at you and they're loud and they're obnoxious and they're aggressive. And let this wisdom soak into your heart where you say, you know what? I'm not going to respond to them the way they're coming at me. I'm going to have a soft answer for people who are coming at me this way. Verse 2, the tongue of the wise commends knowledge, but the mouth of fools pour out folly. Verse 3, here's a good reminder for us. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch. Keeping watch over who? Keeping watch on the evil and the good. Verse 4, similar to verse 1, a gentle tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in the tongue, breaks the spirit. So there's a question for us today. Do my words bring healing, bring this tree of life, or do they, as it says here, does it break people's spirits? Verse 5, a fool despises his father's instruction, but whoever heeds reproof is prudent. In the house of the righteous there is much treasure, but trouble befalls the income of the wicked. Verse 7, once again talking about our mouths, our lips. The lips of the wise spread knowledge, but not so the hearts of fools. Verse 8 says, the sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is acceptable to him. The way of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but God loves him who pursues righteousness. There is severe discipline for him who forsakes the way. Whoever hates reproof will die. Verse 11, I love this verse. Sheol and Abaddon, two mysterious things, the grave and destruction, and in the spiritual realm, who can understand these things? Well, it says here that God does. Sheol and Abaddon lie open before the Lord. He understands these strange, mysterious, spiritual realms. And if he understands that, look at the second half of this verse. How much more then does God understand the hearts of the children of man? God understands your heart, and he understands my heart. He understands our thoughts. His ways are higher than our ways. Verse 12, a scoffer does not like to be reproved. He will not go to the wise. Verse 13, a glad heart makes a cheerful face, but by sorrow of heart, the spirit is crushed. Have you ever met somebody who just constantly or almost constantly has like kind of this, frowny face and this sad face? Well, that's welling up and springing up from what's inside them. When you're constantly miserable, it shows on your face. But this verse says, verse 13, a glad heart makes a cheerful face. When your face is glad, It's an indication of what's going on in your heart. Again, it's where we wear our emotions, we wear our feelings, we wear our heart on our face. Verse 14, the heart of him who has understanding, what does it seek? It seeks knowledge. But the mouths of fools feed on folly. They get a constant diet of folly, a constant diet of foolishness. Perhaps you've been there at times in your life. I know I've been there at times in my life where I feed on foolishness. I feed on just constant entertainment. I feed on things that are not uplifting. I feed on things that are not beneficial. But yet, it says here, the heart of him who has understanding seeks knowledge. Verse 15, all the days of the afflicted are evil, but the cheerful of heart has a continual feast. 16, better is a little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure and trouble with it. 17, better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a fattened ox and hatred with it. Verse 18, a hot-tempered man, what does he do? He stirs up strife. But, here's a lesson for all of us, he who is slow to anger quiets contention. That echoes what we read earlier in verse 1. If you're slow to anger, it quiets the contention. Verse 19, the way of a sluggard is like a hedge of thorns, but the path of the upright is a level highway. A wise son makes a glad father, but a foolish man despises his mother. Verse 21, folly is a joy to him who lacks sense, but a man of understanding walks straight ahead. Verse 22, without counsel, plans fail, but with many advisors, they succeed. To make an apt answer is a joy to a man, and a word in season, how good it is. 24, the path of life leads upward for the prudent, that he may turn away from Sheol, the land of the dead, the grave beneath. Verse 25, here's a warning for us. The Lord tears down the house of the proud, but maintains the widow's boundaries. God looks out for the widows and people who are in trouble in situations, the poor, and so on. Verse 26, the thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the Lord, but gracious words are pure. Verse 27, whoever is greedy for unjust gain troubles his own household, but he who hates bribes will live. Verse 28, the heart of the righteous ponders how to answer. Pause there for a minute. The heart of the righteous ponders how to answer. When someone says something to you and wants an answer, we think it's in our best interest to get in there and speak as quickly as possible. Sometimes we speak before we know the answer. Sometimes we make up stuff as we're going. Sometimes we say whatever inside of us and just comes spewing out of our mouths. But the heart of the righteous ponders first how we should answer. Sounds strange, but it's think before you speak. Wisdom says, think before you speak. But unfortunately, second half of this verse, but the mouth of the wicked pours out evil things. Verse 29, the Lord is far from the wicked, but thank God, he hears the prayer of the righteous. 30, the light of the eyes rejoices the heart, and good news refreshes the bones. The ear that listens to life-giving reproof will dwell among the wise. Verse 32, whoever ignores instruction despises himself, but he who listens to reproof gains intelligence. And verse 33, the fear of the Lord is instruction in wisdom, just like you're getting now this month through the book of Proverbs. The fear of the Lord is instruction in wisdom, and humility comes before honor. So many times we seek honor, we seek recognition, we seek fame. And it's a common thing. But wisdom says humility comes before honor does. Are you willing to humble yourself before the Lord today as we come to him and say, Lord, make me more wise. I want to be more like you. Well, that's Daily Wisdom for today, and I pray that you'll join us again tomorrow. God bless you.